challenge this weekend, Chris.
Yeah.
How do you assess it?
Yeah, it's a big challenge, isn't it? Edinburgh have been going really well. The start of the campaign, how they really would have liked to, whereas we haven't, and there's a bit of quite a bit on it for this week. I think how we go about it, again, we just keep working on the accuracies of our game. But again, playing up in Murrayfield, it's a big field. There's a lot of space there, but we can't use it or exploit it if we're not clinical in the way we approach the game. So, without giving too much away tactically, we've just got to make sure that we hold the ball in the critical times and don't make errors like we did against Munster in critical places in the field and at critical times.
How do you put it into context, your start so far?
Oh, into context, obviously as a group we're highly disappointed. We have high expectations of each other and of us as a team and an organisation. So, to be where we are is disappointing without a doubt. But I think the reality of our situation is, it's just how it is at the moment. We're not panicking after 2 losses. Again, we just keep banging the drum about performance and individual responsibility to make sure their roles are clear and that you're executing on game day. And that's all built on a good training week. So again, we just keep going back to that. But I think the realities for us, you just look at the Munster 22, the 22 people that took the field. Some of those people were under 21 or 21 and under, and 2 teenagers on debut. So, that's just the reality of the situation that we're in at the moment. Having said that, we expect every time that we pull a jersey on that we'll get a performance, and every time we go out we want to win. And again, we've fallen short on 2 occasions.
Do you feel that this period you might sort of profit from it in the long run with all these youngsters coming through? Yeah,
well, I think that's a healthy way to look at things. And again, we certainly are looking at that experience-wise. We're building, and young guys that might not get the opportunities to play and wear the jersey are getting those. Having said that, there's the reality of the competition is still goes on, and we can't afford to get too far away. But as I said, we're not panicking at this stage.
What areas do you feel, Chris, that you can improve? Do you feel discipline, for instance?
Yeah.
Chris said you worked on the soft penalties.
Yeah.
Against Munster.
Yeah, well, I think if you just look at that, the last 8 minutes of that game, there were areas in there that we could have controlled and should have controlled better. And you'd expect, I guess, we play those last 8 minutes again as a group, that we'll be better for that. But there's soft penalties in there. There's there's opportunities where we could have snuffed that game out, even right to the point where that, I guess when they've scored the try, we should have been better in that position there and get off the line and made those tackles. But we didn't, and the reality is we've come short. But yeah, so to improve, we need to make sure that we are a lot more clinical and accurate in those areas.
Your injury list, you had 8 out for the Munster game, plus the 12 with international teams of 20%. Is that improving at all this week?
Again, we have got a hell of a list, and again, we're working our way back through it. But so at the moment we're no better off. But again, we'll just every day, guys are getting better every day. So again, we'll just have to see how they go. But
the young lad Sam Underhill.
Yeah.
How much potential did you see in?
Yeah, listen. I think he's had a hell of a debut, hasn't he? And but again, you look at just the quality of the player and the quality of the guy, and he's only a young fellow, but he really applies himself at training. He's quite a professional player for such a young guy, which is really refreshing. But look, he just loves playing. The more time he's spending in the Ospreys environment, he's understanding how and what we're about, which is pleasing. And again, I just think the way that he plays suits us down to the ground.
I know World Cup questions are off limits, but can your side or players take inspiration from the efforts of the national team?
Oh, I think without a doubt. And again, I think, on that game against England, I think at the end of the day, everyone had sort of written Wales off because of where they were in the injury list and all that sort of stuff, and here they are, and everyone's talking, the story's different, isn't it? They're talking about the courageous win by a team that's under the pump, which I think is great. So yeah, I think they can, and I think they should. And I think there's a good opportunity for us this Friday.
Is this press where you find out a lot about what's in the group when you've got injuries, when your backs are against the wall,
Yeah.
a bit like Wales, for example?
Absolutely, it reveals character these times, and I think what it does is it genuinely tests our depth, and just to see what we've got coming through, the potential guys that we want to invest in the future. It gives us an opportunity to really have a look and put the microscope on them, and large accounts guys are standing out, which is really pleasing.
As you mentioned, the break hasn't quite helped your injury list. It's still no better than it was before. But has it given you a chance this 3-week break to sort of work on a few things that maybe you weren't happy with the first week?
Oh, without a doubt, and that's what this, I guess that's the positive out of having all of these breaks. I mean, ideally you'd like to have a run of games where you can play guys in and, they get their battle hardness and their match fitness, up to scratch. The beauty about this is that we've now had time to reflect, to go back, have a decent review of what we need to learn and go and apply it under pressure. So, the game this Friday against Edinburgh is going to really test where we're at.
Are you kind of thinking the season starts now for us, forget about the first 2 games, because after this week they come thick and fast, don't they?
Yeah, I think win, lose or draw, we're always about performance, and again, we've just got to look at our build up to those games, and I think again, like I say, we've done pretty well. We had a big turnaround from Ulster to Munster. We weren't happy with Ulster. We were a lot happier with Munster, and again, just learning times that we need to get better at. But we need to make sure we get the performance first and foremost, and that is a 23-man effort in terms of that, and making sure that we get our detail right. So, we just got to keep going, and we don't get too far. We're not looking back. We've got to keep looking forward and making sure that we can get better week by week.
You have no doubt, even at this early stage, that you're going to get back to what we saw, for example, last season rather than the first 2 matches.
Yeah, look, the beauty about this competition is that everyone grows and everyone gets better year to year, and we expect to get better, and we know that our opposition are going to get better. And I think if you just look at where Edinburgh were a few years ago and to where they are now, that's just a classic example. So, we know that we've got to be a standard and a step ahead of where we were last year, and we're not quite where we need to be yet, but we'll keep building.
You mentioned about Edinburgh's progress. How impressed have you been with, as you say, where they were and where they are now?
Well, yeah, that just comes down to quality coaching, good recruiting. And again, are clear about what they want to try and do, and I think that's really what this is about. It's getting you guys to perform, getting the right guys in the jersey, and having the right game plan for those guys. And I think that's, if you ever look at it, that's what they've done. I think, they're going to be a very formidable side. They're very physical, and again, we're going to have to step up and match them. So, they're going well.
Well, what about Gareth Delve? Didn't play for the last game.
Yep.
How close is he being?
Yeah, again, he's one of the guys that we monitor daily, and he's trying to, he's an older athlete that we're having to manage through anyway. And again, he's had a hell of a run of injuries in his past. So again, we're just trying to manage him as an athlete, which is pretty standard. So again, he's just a day-to-day, assessment and just seeing how he is. So again, we'll just see how he rolls up over the next couple of days before we sort of announce for Edinburgh.
As coaches, Chris, what did you make of Brendan Leonard's performance?
Yeah, I think Brendan has been good, as our all 3 nines have been through the pre-season, and I think the competition within that little group there is actually brought the best out in everyone, and I think that's really pleasing. But again, I was just really pleased that Brendan came on, made an impact against Ulster, got a start against Munster, and has sort of led the forward pack around the field, in particular. So gives good voice. He's a real competitor, real physical nature as a 9. And again, he's just like I say, from a forwards perspective, he's just bringing clarity, which is really good.
I guess this week the key is that you need a result not to slip too far behind the leading group, I suppose, is it?
Yeah, again, like that is the reality. And but again, as a group, we're not really discussing that. What we've got to get right is the performance, and that's the main priority for us. And again, cutting out the silly errors or the soft errors, and making sure that we're playing in the right end of the park, and we're executing the plan when we get into those areas. That's the key.
Yeah, I know you're not a medical man, but any progress on Eli Walker?
No, actually, I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure exactly where Eli's at, but again, he's progressing daily, so that's the main thing. It's good to see him around the environment.
Good.